Senator touched on this a little bit, but most of these migrants are not being medically checked for COVID. Are you concerned about a spike in diseases that have been eradicated in the past?
Well, I think Senator Marshall addressed that at considerable length, and I'll let him elaborate on it momentarily, but it is a very real problem. When I was down in the Rio Grande Valley a couple of weeks ago, the Biden cages that have on a typical day about 4,000 people crammed in on top of each other, the rate of COVID positivity when I was last there was about 24%. And the Biden administration is releasing illegal immigrants who are COVID positive into every community across the country. They're releasing them into South Texas. Just McAllen alone, this year the Biden administration has released over 7,000 illegal immigrants into McAllen, Texas, who were COVID positive. To put that in perspective, the population of McAllen is about 141,000. 5% of the city of McAllen consists today of illegal immigrants with COVID that Joe Biden released this year. It is a crisis. It is dangerous. The Del Rio Bridge, when I was there, they weren't testing anybody. They had no idea who had COVID and who didn't. This Biden administration is willing to impose mandates on our soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines, is willing to impose mandates on federal employees, is willing to illegally try to impose mandates on private employers. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, their radical open border policies trumps any desire to.
Go ahead.
Jen, can you explain the standard of review then that the White House is undertaking? What would be something that this White House might consider privileged or should remain secret, that this former president or any other former president should have the privilege applied, to which the privilege should apply?
Are you talking about as it relates to January 6th or just in general?
Just, well, specifically in this review, if there's any information you could share about the process that has been undertaken and more broadly.
Well, the process that is one that has been outlined through history and law, is that the former president has the ability, not that there's a lot of past precedent here, I will acknowledge, has the opportunity to exert executive privilege to documents that are in the National Archives. And then this president and this White House has the opportunity to review that. Now, I think it's important to note, and I know I said this, but I will just reiterate, this is the first set of documents. So these will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. And obviously, we will be responsive to the requests of the committee. I would like to note, just broadly speaking, that, what this committee is investigating is not the normal course of government business, right? There is, as you know, and as all of you know, there are normal requests for documents, for information. There are moments throughout history where presidents and White Houses have asserted executive privilege. We will continue to evaluate those on a case-by-case basis. But this committee is investigating a dark day in our democracy, an attempt to undermine our Constitution and democratic processes by the former president. And that context, I think, is important here, too.
I'd like to ask put a finer point on a question Amr asked you about.
Sure.
Indigenous Peoples Day. The president today issued two proclamations.
Yes.
One for Indigenous Peoples Day, the other for Columbus Day. In the Indigenous Peoples Day proclamation, the president spoke of it as a day to be celebrated. Mm-hmm. And in the Columbus Day proclamation, the president spoke of the need for reflection on that day. And he also seemed to indicate that Congress has requested that the president proclaim Columbus Day. So my question is President Biden begrudgingly proclaiming Columbus Day this year?
He's declaring both a holiday. Obviously, Indigenous Peoples Day is something that he's honored to be the first president to be issuing a proclamation on and celebrating.
Is it his wish that the federal law be changed, that Columbus Day no longer be the designation of the second Monday in October?
I don't have any prediction of that at this point in time.